G'day bike riders! Today we're looking at the bike parking in Belmont High Street in Geelong and why it might be underutilised. That's coming up next. I'm the Bike Route Buddy, bringing you bicycle infrastructure reviews from Geelong and further afield. Today we're in the busy shopping strip of High Street in Belmont, a suburb of Geelong, Victoria's second largest city. Belmont High Street starts at the Barwon River, where it changes its name from Moorabool Street, and then it runs past the shopping centre, then up a hill through the shopping strip. There are lots of small businesses along here, along with supermarket chains, restaurants, cafes, pharmacies, bakeries, and there were a few banks until they shut a year or so ago. You can get most things you need for day-to-day living right here in the strip, and there are many residences within walking distance, and many more within a short bike ride in all directions. If you ride your bike to High Street, the City of Greater Geelong has done a great job in providing bike parking along this strip, especially at the busier area at the top of the hill. There are bike racks on both sides of the street and fairly regularly spaced. There is even a triple rack at the library. There are fewer down the hill near the shopping centre. I came along here on my bike to the post office the other day. I parked my bike right out the front in an empty bike park. I do ride down here on a regular basis and utilise the bike parking, but I don't often see many other bikes locked up in them. It got me thinking as to why more people don't ride along here. It's a bustling destination with many services, and it services a massive residential population nearby. Let's take a ride along Belmont High Street. See, the car traffic is completely prioritised. I'm not sure I'll need a rocket science degree to answer my question. I'm not that comfortable riding down here, and I can keep up with the traffic to prevent drivers from close passing me. For those not so fast on a bike, you constantly have a stream of cars pushing past you just to stop at the next red light. That is if you don't get doored from a person exiting their parked car. You could take the entire lane, but most less confident riders don't feel comfortable doing this. It's not a pleasant experience for drivers or bike riders. Drivers constantly get stuck waiting for other drivers to reverse park in the on-street parking, even though there are hundreds, if not thousands of car parks in the surrounding area. Bike riders experience high stress trying to navigate between parked cars and moving cars. I think it is pretty obvious why we don't see many bikes parked in the bike racks, because it's just too dangerous to navigate this car-dominated space on a bike. I have an idea though. Let's see if the Transport Accident Commission, the TAC, could put up some money for some safe bike lanes along here. Let's pay someone to do a detailed design, do some community consultation, decide on which design we're going to use, go out and seek tenders, select the winning tender, and then take it to council for approval. It might require removing a bit of on-street car parking, but there is so much free parking to access the services along here. Wasn't that already tried, you may ask? Well, yes, it was in 2022. Now that we've selected a winning tender, let's cancel the project at the last minute. Let's talk about alternatives and never look at it again. TAC gets their money back to spend elsewhere in another city, and Belmont High Street sits in limbo for another 10 years.
The TAC's on board and the Department of Transport's on board. And we'll get the community on board and we'll build the right bike paths in the right places.
We need to take ourselves back out of the mire that's actually occurred on these issues and actually look at it from a strategic viewpoint. And the best way we can do that is to actually work with the most important stakeholders in active bike lanes across the whole of Geelong. They are the Department of Transport, Regional Roads Victoria, TAC, and the community that actually lives in those areas.
With that, I'll put this foreshadowed alternative motion to the vote. All those in favour? Thank you. All those against? That item is carried.
The alternative motion moved by Councillor Nelson and seconded by Councillor Aitken states, request the Chief Executive Officer to instigate a strategic review of the Principal Bicycle Network, seeking assistance from key stakeholders, including the Department of Transport, Regional Roads Victoria, and the Transport Accident Commission, and that the review includes community engagement. I've heard nothing about instigating a strategic review of the Principal Bicycle Network, and no one has spoken about it for 2 years. But the project is still on the City of Greater Geelong's website. Anyone stumbling across this site would be misled to think that it's still progressing. There is a whole video to be done on this topic, but it might be Titanic length, so I'll get to it one day. Well, at least there are some bike racks in High Street, though I imagine they will have reached the end of their design life before any infrastructure is put in place to make it safe to ride to them. I'm the Bike Route Buddy. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you parking your bike at one of these bike parking hoops after riding on a connected bike network.